Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be ranking all my limited edition and or Disney dolls by American Girl. And the reason I put those two categories together is because, first of all, I don't have enough of both of either to do its own video. And sometimes the limited edition dolls are Disney dolls and vice versa. And so I thought it would be a quick way to, or the easiest way to finish off this sort of series of ranking all my dolls. And before I go into the actual rankings, I just want to make a couple notes. One, these are just my opinions of the dolls, and you may feel complete opposite of me, and that's fine, because this really isn't that serious. It's the rankings or the numbers are almost an arbitrary way to talk about these dolls and just categorize them that way. So it's really unserious. So I hope my rankings don't offend anyone, especially if I put their most favorite doll of all time at the bottom of these 14 dolls, because I only have 14 for this category because the thing is, these are only the dolls that have not been customized anyway, so no wig swaps and no eye swaps. Redressings, sure, even renaming, but if I swapped anything about the way they came out of the box, then those dolls would have gone into my customs ranking, which has already been done, and since those were customs, probably the least offensive of all my rankings. So now I think those are all rules I need to get out of the way, all the little disclaimers. So let me keep that in mind. Jump in with my number 14 doll. So the bottom, my lowest ranked limited edition doll, who is Kirsten's Surprise. And I think this one is kind of understandable that she would be at the bottom just because, for one thing, she's not that limited edition. All they did was take a new doll, and use an old outfit and put it in a nice box and call it a limited edition by making, just a certain number of them and charging a lot for that certain number. And when she came out, people were not very pleased with this kind of a release. I like her because I don't have the outfit, and I like having a Christmas doll, I especially like having a doll that comes in a nice display box. But the truth is, out of all the limited edition and Disney dolls, I have other Kirsten dolls, and she's really, as much as I love the doll, I always want to emphasize that she's just not at the top of my limited edition American Girl doll list. And funnily enough, my number 13 doll, so my second lowest, is another doll who I keep in a box, and also a holiday doll. And it's probably going to be very surprising that it is limited edition Claudia, or holiday 2024 doll. And another thing I forgot to mention is some dolls I have repeats of. So those ones, I'm going to rank them all. So I'm scrutinizing those ones more. And the scrutiny I put on this pink Stardust doll is that, as I said, I alluded to, I have a few of her, and I've customized and redressed. And so those dolls I ended up liking a lot more than the one who's in the box, even though obviously I love her to bits because it's Claudia, my favorite mold, and a limited edition version, unique, and they gave her a lot of unique qualities. But the reason I put her, again, with the scrutiny, because I have multiples, is after I've seen her in other looks and other outfits, I really am not crazy about this dress. I was super excited when she came out, when I knew that she was coming, because it's limited edition. And I even love the dress, and I guess I kind of do. I don't hate the dress, and I like the way she's displayed in box, and I like her little accessories like the purse and all the Swarovski elements to her. But as I've sat with her and, again, seen her in other looks, this is more so I don't love the dress. Let me just bring her closer now, just in case anyone who has not dealt with her in person. She actually looks pretty decent in the box, but when you feel the materials, it's not that impressive. The tulle, I guess you would call this tulle, it's not extremely soft, but I'm just thinking maybe, trying to give some grace because it's for a doll, and so maybe they had to scale it down, and that's just basically what it looked. And I'm sounding like I'm hating it, but I'm not. I'm just trying to give you the reasons I had for putting her so low, and some of you probably think that this is almost diluted or something. I mean, what did I do? And that's why I was just trying to scrutinize her really hard, because I had to start somewhere with the bottom. And then the other thing the good thing about these two being my lowest is now I can get the two box dolls out of the way and show more on screen at once. But that wasn't a part of the ranking. It's just a happy coincidence. Jumping into my number 12 doll, I'm definitely going to have to explain before I bring her out that this is going back to what I was saying about scrutinizing before. And I have the most of this particular doll to bring. So I think I was scrutinizing Tiana extra hard. So my number 12 doll, and then therefore my lowest ranked Tiana doll, is just her in a nightgown. And so that's how I'm trying to rank the dolls that I have multiples of, is just kind of what their purpose is in my collection, and how I was able to get them to look in whatever look I gave them. And I, of course, love having her in this nightgown and these cute little ringlet pigtails. But she just sits up in Claudia's bed, and so that Claudia has a best friend kind of character, and she is still Tiana because their stories take place at the same time. So I really enjoy her and having her this way. But there are other dolls that, because I have so many of her, I could just feature a little bit higher. And speaking of dolls that I thought I would have featured higher, is number 11, and that is Elsa. And the reason I would have thought I would place her higher is because she's so unique with the skin tone, and they didn't used to use the Marie Grace mold too often. They have a couple times now in the last couple years, and I put her in her Frozen 2 outfit, which was made by Emily Rose. And so I think the other thing about Elsa is I change her a lot. I don't usually have the Disney dolls aside from Tiana, who you'll see again and again. I don't really have them as Disney dolls in my collection, and I haven't really figured out Elsa's character. So maybe that's why she's ranked a little bit low. And there are some issues with her wig, and I know it's not just mine. If you see that the hair's not evenly cut, or not all in even lengths to sit in the braid properly, and she has a couple little flaws. And again, when I'm ranking, it's again arbitrary. I'm just doing this for fun, and so I was just trying to think of ways to put the dolls at the bottom of the ranking, and that's where Elsa fell. But I, of course, I love the fact that she's got a unique skin tone. She is the lightest doll of every American Girl, and I am going to have a video soon that goes into their skin tones a little bit more, because I have every skin tone that American Girl has made so far. So I do love Elsa. So if anybody out there is a big Elsa fan, I just have to put somebody at the bottom. And I'm going to keep I'm going to keep over explaining until I get to the top 10, I think. So now I think I have reached the top 10 with another Tiana doll. And I don't think I need to defend Tiana too much, because obviously she's a big favorite of mine. So if I'm putting her low, I had to put someone down there, you know what I'm saying? But the reason I put Tiana in her working outfit low is because I think it's because of the creative liberties they took with this outfit specifically. And so the doll, of course, I love her, and I didn't really talk about the doll herself when I brought up the first version. So I love that she's also got a unique skin tone, and I love that she's got the light brown decal eyes, and I love her wig, which I'll talk about later with another doll. So there's a lot about the Tiana doll that even if I didn't love Tiana, but I mean, I do love Claudia as well, I think I would still love the doll so much and probably have as many copies of the doll as I do. But the thing is, her outfit in the movie, like with the flowers here, and some of the liberties they took. The color of her shoes are navy, and they're brown in the movie. And again, nitpicking because I wanted to, but I do love her, and I think this outfit is it's versatile. Like other collectors could really have a purpose for it in their collection. So I have praise for the outfit, and of course the doll. But someone had to be my number 10, right? And then moving on to number 9 is the limited edition. Oh, sorry, no, it's the Cinderella doll, not limited edition, but the Disney doll. And I have her in as part of Mary Ellen's world. That's why she's wearing Mary Ellen's prototype, one of her prototype outfits. I think people were making them on Etsy or something. This was gifted to me, so I don't know the exact source of where it came from. So because of her hair, and because the movie was made in the 1950s, I thought she really suited going into Mary Ellen's world. And she's got another unique skin tone, and she's the Josefina mold, if you can't tell. So there's a lot of great things about this doll too. I do love the doll. And I also, another thing, talking about the Disney dolls who are all up on screen right now, they all have more detailed eyebrows than most American Girl dolls. They all have unique eyebrow shapes. So they're a bit thicker. There's more paint work or brush work, I guess you could say, inside them, rather than just be a line or kind of a messy feathered eyebrow. And she's got Kit's shoes too, in case you're wondering. And because the dress, well, two things. One, because the dress shows off the neck joint, and because she's from the 1950s, I just gave her a string of pearls because I thought it would suit her and it would serve a dual purpose. So let me get these four out of here so I can bring out the next. And now moving on to my number 8 doll. She's another Disney girl I've repurposed into a historical collection. And that's Ariel, who is part of Courtney's world. And I've named her Kimberly because she kind of reminds me of Kimber from Gem and the Holograms. I think Kimberly is a very 80s sounding name, so I just thought it was perfect for her. And the funny thing about Ariel, the Disney doll, for anybody who didn't want to collect the Disney dolls because they didn't, if they wanted to repurpose them into their collection, is what I'm saying. See, for like in my example, I think they were kind of probably avoiding Ariel because it's really hard with her bright red hair to figure out where to place her. And I was inspired probably by Gem and the Holograms to have her go into Courtney's world, and I think she's perfect for it. It was even her bangs, like if you look at the bangs, the way her hair is rooted there, the way it's styled, it's very 1986 to 1989, somewhere in that sort of region. And another doll with a unique skin tone and really great eyebrows. And this wig is the softest of any doll wig I've ever come across in my entire life. Maybe not the softest hair of any hair, but I know that I don't have any other doll wig that's this soft. So she has really great hair. It's unfortunate that it's a color that not a lot of people would be able to work with because I think she has a lot of great qualities. And if you're looking at her outfit, it's just a mix and match. But I gave her the shoes from the limited edition Barbie outfit, the day and night outfit, which is why I wanted that outfit because I also wanted to incorporate it into Courtney's world. Other topic, but while I'm here. And so moving on to my number 7 doll. Speaking of Barbie, it's Barbie. And this is a doll who, well, so I made this list ranking the dolls a couple months ago, and it just took me a long time to get to do this actual grouping. And she was actually ranked a lot lower originally, but then I was bringing out all the dolls tonight to make the video, and I thought, wait, I like the Barbie doll a lot more than this now. So I bumped her up to, like I said, number 7. And I think because as I've sat with her, there's more uniqueness to her. Let me bring her closer. Of course, the skin tone. She's got her own skin tone. I think it may be the second or third lightest of all the dolls so far. And it's cute that she's got the makeup to be, to look like the original Barbie doll. But I also put her in Mary Ellen's world. And she's wearing Mary Ellen's prom outfit. I know, pretty, to me it looks like a prom outfit. So I always call it that. I think it's called her pretty pink outfit, something like that. And the only thing I've kept from her original, I mean, the earrings obviously, and then I was able to put her sunglasses on. But the thing about the Barbie doll as it comes is I don't really love the bathing suit. I love the fact that it has Swarovski, because I love Swarovski, even though the Barbie doll did not have that. But it fits funny, and it has, so it's not a bathing suit type material. I don't know if I needed to go into all this detail, but I'm talking about her, so why not? So because it's made of like a polyester that has no stretch, the bathing suit doesn't sit on her flush. So it doesn't touch her, it doesn't hug her body the way a bathing suit normally would, especially the Barbie doll of the 1950s would have hugged her body. But another thing I do love about the Barbie doll, this Barbie doll, is the doll stand. I love the fact that they gave her her own doll stand with her name etched into it on the base. I just think that's a cute little detail, and I wish all of their limited edition dolls came with doll stands, and especially it would be great if they had something personalized like this. But I understand they did it with Barbie because there wasn't much to the doll. She was wearing a bathing suit and earrings and some kind of like kitten heel. So I guess they had to put in as much detail as they could to justify that price, as all their limited edition dolls are very expensive. And moving on to my number 6 doll, just like a blunt cut into the next doll, no segue whatsoever, is going to be another Tiana doll, because I have so many. And it is the original, the default, let's say, the meat Tiana doll by American Girl. So she's wearing her Bayou wedding gown, the green gown, which is the signature Tiana gown in the movie, in the parks, whatever. So the reason I think I feel like I ranked her a little bit low. I would have thought my top 3 would have been just all Tiana dolls. But the thing about her, so I mentioned how I like that they have unique skin tones, unique eyebrows. And I love the doll of Tiana as a doll, but the skin tone doesn't really scream Tiana. And I've made a custom. And when you look at the doll, I'm glancing at the monitor, because when you look at her in the default outfit, the meat outfit, she just looks yellow. She looks like there's a filter over her. And she doesn't look her skin tone doesn't look the same in anything else, as you have seen and will see again. So I think that's why I rank her a little bit low, even though it's her most iconic look, and this is Tiana to most people. I just ranked her a little bit low because of things like how she came together for me. And the dress that she comes in is extremely cheap feeling. It is like a tent. Definitely feels and looks like a tent. And the thing that redeems her dress for me is that they put this mesh up here to cover her cloth body. Anybody who's watched heard me talk about it before must be so sick of hearing that, but it's so true. And every time I look at her, I feel this kind of joy that they thought of putting this mesh up here. It has a lot of purposes. One, it keeps the dress up. I don't even think I've ever mentioned that little tidbit. Is without that, I guess they could have given her clear straps or something. But it's nice that it covers her body, because I think, even if a little girl is going to dress as Tiana for Halloween or going to the parks, that might be a more comfortable way to dress them as well. And I like that she comes with the metal necklace, and her shoes are cute, even though they've got the kitten heel. So whenever she's standing, she looks like she's leaning back, because that's what the heel makes them do. So I think that's why I ranked her a little bit low, even though she's, what is she, number 5? Number 6. But my number 5 is also a Tiana doll, but her name is Madison. And she is modernized a little bit. She's part of the twins world. And it may seem a little silly that I'm putting a redress Tiana higher than the actual most iconic Tiana who's beside me, but she looks so much better in purple, for one thing, but also now I can talk about the doll's hair, which is what I was alluding to before. It is such a nice texture that it holds a style. It's so easy to style. So all I did was, I'm laughing because I talked about this so many times with this doll too, is, I just took like the back of a brush, wrapped it around, wet it, and it stayed. I did her hair, it's been like this for over a year. I've never had to touch it up. It just sits so perfectly. And so even though I'm not the greatest styling doll hair, especially in curls, there is something very magical about her wig. So I just love it. And because I've made quite a few customs with Tiana dolls, I've done other styles, and it's honestly, I don't know what they did. It's very unique. Out of all the textured hair dolls, there's something very unique about the texture of her hair. So I absolutely love the Tiana doll, regardless of her being Tiana, but I'm biased because it's Tiana. And so I just think that I ended up buying so many because of all the potential and because of how great the doll looks, even if you don't want to have her as a Disney doll. So now that's the second last batch, so let me just get to the top 4 dolls. When you get to the top of your rankings, I feel like there's a little bit of, you could swap them around and it wouldn't be that. It's splitting hairs. So even though I'm going to say 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever, just know that some of these dolls are all so amazing to me that they're all number 1, but that's not totally true. So number 4 is harkening back to what I said in the very beginning of why my pink Stardust was ranked so low, because I love the doll. She's absolutely gorgeous. Everything about her. I love the wig. I love that they gave her amber eyes, which are not used very commonly. And I love her accessories, like her necklace and her bracelet and the purse. And I love all the little Swarovski and sparkliness to them. But she really does deserve a better outfit. And I should probably play with her more and try her different outfits. But because I put her in this Janie and Jack, essentially a Christmas outfit, I just don't think it doesn't scream Christmas because it's pink and red and, instead of traditional Christmas colors. I just have loved it on her so much that I think it would almost like hurt my heart a little bit if I tried her in something else, because I get so attached to the way certain dolls look. And I don't know how much I can say about this doll because I've talked about her so much, but just know that if I only had one, the one back here who was number 13, probably would have been in my top 4. But because I have more than one of her, and I don't just have these 2, I have others that I bought to customize. So I have these like Claudia hybrids. And I called her, speaking of Claudia hybrids, her name is Kiana because I wanted to name her something that has elements of Tiana's name and Claudia's name. So it's just Tiana with a K, but spelled with a K. And I don't know if I need to say anything else about her, because just know that she's number 4, but this is like top tier right now. So you can take that however you want, because my number 3 doll is also top tier. And I'm trying to brace myself to bring her out, because I put her in this outfit tonight because I've always wanted to see her dressed as this character. And I now have the pieces to do a sort of imitation of it, but it's not a proper Anne of Green Gables. But this is Anna, limited edition Anna. And like I said, I'm trying to make her look like Anne of Green Gables because she is the perfect candidate to dress like that. And I recently acquired this dress. I believe it's handmade. If anybody, I don't think there's any way anybody would know anything about it, but it's so well made. There's no tag inside. That's why I think it's handmade. It's so well made that it doesn't look like a handmade garment. However, usually when I get something that Velcros all the way open and opens all the way up instead of being kind of, closed at the bottom at the skirt, I just assume it's handmade. So she's wearing just this weird mix and match to look like Anne of Green Gables. And I know the colors, it's not a signature Anne of Green Gables look, but I think it looks good enough for the sake of her. You know who she is when you look at her, I think. I do. And maybe it's a bias. And I was gonna just put this on her for the video because I've always wanted to see her dressed as Anne of Green Gables. And maybe others have done it, but I haven't stumbled across pictures or anything like that. But then seeing her in this outfit, I'm like, oh no, she's going on my shelf like this. I'm not putting her back in the outfit she was wearing last time. She's a doll who is also top tier because I can dress her in anything and I've changed her a lot and I just love everything that I put on her. She's so cute. She's my second favorite mold. She's got a unique skin tone. What else do we need to say about this girl who I love so much? I love her freckles. I love the fact that, she's got the red braids. I love her bangs. I just love everything about this doll. So she definitely would have been top tier. So I think that's enough that I can move on to my number 2 doll. I wanted to keep talking about her. That's what happened. And so this is Tiana in my favorite Tiana outfit. And when I talk about this blue gown, it is the most pivotal moment from the movie. It is the moment in the movie when I fell in love with Tiana, and I just knew like, oh, this is the princess for me. Because I'm a Disney fan pretty much my whole life, and I've been a Disney collector for half of it, which is a long time. And so we always have this tendency to be like, oh, which Disney is your favorite, or which princess is your favorite princess? It's almost like it defines you. It's almost like it's an identifier pretty much. So I didn't have that really. I kind of teetered between a lot of them until the scene in the movie when she reprised her song Almost There. And I love the outfit on her, just the look, because when we saw when the trailers first came out, this is what she was wearing. They kind of made it look like she was a princess and this was her actual princess outfit. So I don't know how would I say this? It wouldn't have mattered what they had done with this outfit, American Girl. I would have loved it so much anyway, just for the sheer fact that it exists. And I'm saying that because it's also probably cheap, like the default outfit, but I don't care. And it also has the mesh up here, which I do love. It's not a glitter bomb, but it's very glittery. So it sparkled in the movie. So I think that's a good representation. The sash that goes across, it's such an awful feeling material, but I don't care. Disney is like everything about her, this outfit and having this outfit is perfect. I love the fact that her menu says Tiana's place or palace. Place. What I mean is a lot of the toys, when they come with this, they'll just say Tiana's and it won't put in the English word just, because of having to distribute throughout the world. And the one thing I have replaced, someone was kind enough to gift me this tiara that looks a little bit more like her tiara in the movie because it's bigger. The tiara that this comes with is very small and probably too small scale for for an 18-inch doll. But even if I didn't have this improved tiara, I would still love the tiara. I would love the outfit as it was, and I did, and I do. But I'm just saying I'm lucky enough that I have a slightly improved version of her outfit. So now I'm going on to my number 1 doll, and even though I was saying this is my number 1 tier, so they're all kind of even, this doll is actually my number 1. So I would say that they're all the top tier, but this doll is I would say out of all my dolls, if I ever did get around to ranking all of them, I don't know if I will at this point because there are 150, but I think she would actually be my number 1 out of all my American Girl dolls. And her name is Deepika. She is the limited edition Jasmine doll, but I've repurposed her. She's currently wearing a Maple Leaf outfit, probably one of my favorite Maple Leaf outfits too. One of them, because I have quite a few of them. And I don't know what it was about this doll. Something about her was so unique. I love her wig. So it's like, I'm saying I don't know I don't know what I love about this doll, and let me tell you all the things I love with the doll is why I'm kind of mocking myself. So she's got this long, really thick, really beautiful wig, and this is definitely my favorite of every American Girl wig I've ever seen. And I like it better than Rapunzel's wig. I like it better than Anna's wig over here. Even I love it better than Tiana's wig. And even though I, gushed about that so much, but it's such there's a certain quality to it that if you, when you buy handmade wigs, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, and they're high quality, but something about them always looks heavy on a doll when they're this big type of wig. So I don't know what they did to get this wig still looking right proportions, right scale, but it's just it from the time I saw these dolls being released. I don't remember how far along I was in collecting. I think I was still being very selective about the dolls I got, but I just thought, I don't collect Disney, so how am I going to justify buying this $300 doll? Because that's so expensive. I don't think I'd ever, aside from like life size replicas of movie props, I don't think I'd ever spent that much on a doll retail. So she is definitely my number one American Girl doll, and there's so many things I could say about her. Oh, and I should say that I was, whenever I say her name, it's Deepika, but it's spelled like Deepika, but it's just that's not how it's pronounced. So whenever people refer to her down in the comments, they always spell it phonetically, but I'm just saying, if I'm ever writing back, that's why what I'm saying probably doesn't look like what I'm spelling or sound like what I'm spelling. So I think that's all I need to say about her because I've talked about her a lot. And I want to reiterate the fact that this is just for fun. These are just arbitrary numbers because I love to come on and talk about my dolls however I can, whatever excuse I can conjure up. And this is the excuse of the day to talk about this particular group of dolls. I love them all. So even if I ranked your favorite doll the lowest, I still love that doll. And we might have opposite taste, but I'm not on here bashing any of them. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make that clear because when I do these ranking videos, I know people can't help but take it personally, and they are my most disliked videos. Some more than others, but I'm just saying that's where it's like I'm trying to say it's not that serious, and you can dislike it. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying just know that I do love the same doll you do if I'm ranking your favorite doll low. That is all I want to say about that. And so thank you for humoring me, to anyone who is okay that I ranked my own dolls and that some of them are repeats. But I am excessive, so of course I'm going to have multiples of my most favorites. So once again, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon in the next one.